What is up, weather enthusiasts? I'm your host, Pat's Path Predictor. Let's get right into the weather. Alright, so here's the situation we have for you, ladies and gentlemen. We have a lot of stuff that we need to cover for you today. We're going to spend the first two-thirds of the video talking about this huge bomb cyclone that's going to be approaching the Chicago area and impacting areas like Milwaukee, Madison, Chicago, and much of Michigan, and even into parts of Iowa, Missouri, and the rest of Illinois. And then we're going to spend the last third talking about another potential big snowstorm that's going to be impacting parts of the Mid-Atlantic and New England. We've been keeping an eye on this for you since last night, so we're going to go ahead and dive right into this. To kind of get started for you guys, it looks like the low-pressure system as of right now is developing near Kansas or the Oklahoma Panhandle. As of right now, things are starting to get their act together. As of right now, I want to go ahead and pull up the radar in those areas right there, and particularly Kansas and Oklahoma. There's not really that much I can really take a look at from the radar scope, which is what I'm pulling up on another screen of mine, although there is some snow falling in Nebraska as I'm recording this. There is stuff to pay attention to the future, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at all of this. First of all, though, National Weather Service is issuing warnings all over the place, and it looks, from the looks of it, it looks like the Chicago area is about to be next at the time of recording this video. I'm recording this about an hour before this gets out, so if this does change, by the time you see this, that's the reason why. But we're going to go ahead and start the winter storm warnings. We're going to go ahead and go to the ones in Wisconsin first, because they're also getting pretty impacted by this. The winter storm warning in the Milwaukee area, particularly that in the Wow counties over there. Total snow accumulation of 3 to 7 inches along the lakeshore, with 6 to 11 inches further inland. Winds gusting as high as 45 miles per hour, causing blowing and drifting snow. This is for Sheboygan, Ozaukee, Milwaukee, Racine, and Kenosha counties, from 6 p.m. Friday until noon Saturday. I actually want to go see what the Wow counties are looking at, like in Ozaukee. I know this is Washington County right here. Yeah, 7 to 12 inches of snow is expected for the Wow counties, as well as pretty much the eastern half of Wisconsin. And into Madison, we're looking at, from what I looked at last time, we're 8 to 13 inches of snow officially forecasted, although we could see a little bit more if this storm does outperform. Next one I want to take a look at is the Quad Cities area and see what their winter storm warning is looking like. Real quickly, here's what we have going on. 5 to 10 inches of snow with heavy mixed precipitation and going on, with ice accumulations up to around 1/10 of an inch. Winds are gusting as high as 50 miles per hour, which would make it near blizzard conditions. Right there, if the visibility gets down to 1/4 of a mile, it even says it here on right here. Later in the day on Friday, colder air moves into the area along with strong winds. Near blizzard conditions are expected, and a blizzard warning may be needed for portions of the area. How far north of the red spreads during the day on Fridays is still uncertain, and at the amount of time, so snowfall forecasts may change, especially along and south of Interstate 80. So you're hearing it right here. We are looking at potential blizzard warnings for a lot of the Midwest, and the Quad Cities is already potentially talking about this. Next thing I want to take a look at now is the winter storm watch that is still in effect for much of Chicago at the time of taking a look at this. Here's the situation that we were looking at. So yesterday when I made the video, I said they were going to do a winter storm watch in excess of instead of a snowfall range, and it looks like I called called it right here. Total snow accumulation is greater than 6 inches possible, with winds gusting as high as 50 miles per hour. Additional details: the strongest winds with the potential for periods of blizzard conditions are expected Friday evening into early Saturday. Warmer temperatures near Lake Michigan will likely cut into snow accumulations during the day on Friday. So if you're right on the coast of Lake Michigan, if you're in like Chicago proper, if you're in Gary, if you're near Chesterton, all those areas, that's likely what's going to be happening. Although if you're further inland, such as the Chicago suburbs, like the Central Lake and Porter counties south, that's what we're looking at right there. And then until the overnight hours, we're going to be at the back end of that at that current point, and that's when at least from some models that are anticipating some of the snow accumulation to happen. Now, we've seen some models that have been coming out that they've been kind of all over the place over the last day or so. We're going to start with the 12Z HER, and the reason I'm about to show you this is pretty important real quickly. So the 12Z HER had this thing really pushing much further to the north and bringing a lot of rain at first to a lot of the Chicago area, especially northwest Indiana, before the cyclone continues to bomb out, and by Friday afternoon, the snow starts to really impact on the back end as it moves into Michigan, into Wisconsin, and even the Upper Peninsula as well, and we're still not done by 48 hours out. However, the snow accumulations were not particularly that impressive for much of the Chicago area at the 12Z run. However, I was looking at the National Weather Service AFDs that they've been posting at this current point in time, and here's what they were looking at right here. Here's what they were looking at. I want to read a bit of an excerpt of this. Following the end of the early morning light snow, the forecast quickly shifts to the next developing winter storm, which is a 60+% chance to produce major impacts to commerce across a good majority of northern Illinois and north of I-80. The forecast of this storm system continues to be handled best by the more consistent global forecast models and ensembles, especially the European and its ensemble members. We therefore continue to steer the forecast in that direction. Currently, many of the higher resolution models such as the HER, NAM, and RAP continue to be the northern and warm outliers of this system, and thus their current interpretations are not favored. So the NWS is kind of dismissing the HER, the RAP, and the NAM as kind of the outliers. This is the snowfall we were seeing with the 12Z, and we're going to zoom into the Chicago area real quickly. We were looking at 5.5 for Chicago proper, 14 inches for much of the northern Chicago suburbs. Here's the 18Z that just came out right now. Boom. A lot more snow in the Chicago area, a lot more snow in northwest Indiana, and even some more snow up into Michigan as well. So that's what we're seeing at this current point. What changed? Well, the track shifted a bit further to the south and to the east than previously looking at, and it also bombed out a bit quicker than anticipated and caused the heavy snow to really blanket a lot of the areas in the Chicago area, in Milwaukee, Madison, all those areas. So that's what changed right there. And based off of what we're looking at, the models continue to show big snow totals, especially for Chicago, Milwaukee, Madison, into Grand Rapids, Indiana, even into South Bend as well. So we're going to have to pay attention to that. The RAP model's also been picking up on these increasing trends. Here's where we were at the 9Z right there. This is the 15Z. Boom. A lot different of a story right now. And then if we go ahead and show you the NAM continues to hold out quite extensively across a lot of these areas right there. This is the 12Z NAM that we have right here. The 18Z is just coming out, so we'll have to see what is going on with that. But the 12Z NAM, as I'm showing you this right now, has that rain snow line kind of a bit further to the north than what the global operational forecasts are. And as of what we're looking at, according to the NWS in Chicago, they continue to be the outliers. So we're going to have to pay very close attention to that as time continues to go on. Next model we're going to go ahead and show you is we're actually going to go ahead and jump to the GFS with this run to kind of give you a better understanding of what we're looking at and see what the GFS is forecasting at this current point in time. We're going to show you the precip type with this. Really, the rain snow line is going to be pretty much in, south of the Chicago area and pretty much in north central Illinois, just south of Lake Porter and LaPorte counties right there. And then as the cyclone continues to bomb out, it really brings that back end snow with those potential blizzard conditions to a lot of the Chicago area, to potentially Milwaukee, Madison, northwest Indiana, even into Grand Rapids over there. Total snow accumulations that we have right here. This is pretty much by Sunday morning right there, as there could be some potential lake effect with this. Across a lot of the immediate Chicago area, we're looking at well over a foot of snow, according to the GFS model that has been coming out as of recently. So this is definitely a situation we're taking a look at. The Europeans also been holding pretty significantly. The 12Z is continuing to come out and they're still bringing at least a foot of snow to a lot of these areas over here. We're just going to have to see where that rain-snow line is going, but as of right now, it does look like it's going to be holding just to the south of the Chicago area, but things are absolutely subject to change. So that's the first system we're taking a look at. What I also wanted to pay attention to is the potential second storm that we're looking at for much of the mid-Atlantic over here. This isn't until like the 15th, 16th, or 17th over here, but this is what we got. Starting on the 15th, or particularly starting in Tennessee, Kentucky, and all those areas according to the GFS, we're looking at some snowfall starting a bit isolated at first, and then we're looking at a potentially big snowstorm going on pretty much from Massachusetts all the way to Virginia into Kentucky, and this is going to get pretty intense pretty quickly as of right now. If we go ahead and zoom out real quickly, it really impacts pretty much from Virginia all the way to New England, so we're going to have to continue to monitor this. We've seen snow totals that are already pretty interesting to take a look at. Here's the total snow accumulations as of right now for the Mid-Atlantic all the way to New England. For Washington, D.C., we're looking at anywhere from 7 to 10 inches of snow. Baltimore is going to be around a similar rate. Philly could potentially see 8 to 12 inches of snow as of right now, all the way through much of New Jersey. New York City as well is looking at, according to the GFS, anywhere from 8 to 10 inches of snow, and it gets really bad in Massachusetts, in Vermont, New Hampshire, and even into Maine over here, where although some of this is from the previous storm, it's still going to be generating at least a foot of snow for a lot of these areas. Boston proper gets up to a foot of snow from this, so we're going to have to pay attention to all of this. This isn't the only model that's really anticipating this kind of stuff right here. This is what we have with the European. It's not fully out as of right now. However, the European's been paying attention to this, and as much as I'm taking a look at the 12Z, it's not out. The 0Z was pretty interesting as of right there. The 0Z previously had this thing kind of a bit more moderate than the GFS, but still very noticeable to pay attention to. The GEM GDPS, similar situation, although if we go ahead and show you the precip from this, it looks like the rain-snow line is just going to be north of DC, Baltimore, all those areas, and that snow is going to be more isolated. So we're going to have to pay attention to this, but this is still a potential situation that we are continuing to pay attention to. The 12Z is showing a more concerning look to it as of right now, although that rain-snow line is kind of setting up similar to where it was on the January 9th storm, at least as of right now. If we go ahead and show you the total snow accumulations from this, still something to watch, especially for Philadelphia, DC, and Baltimore, and even into Boston, New York City. But as of right now, it's just something to monitor. We're not 100% sure what's going to be happening, but we will keep you updated here on the Pat's Path Predictor channel. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and close the video out right here. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. It helps us out, helps us make more videos like these. The goal of this channel is to get more people engaged with weather, and if you want to see the behind the scenes to this video making, and you want to ask me any further questions, feel free to join the Storms United Discord server. The link to that is right over there. But with that being said, have a wonderful day, guys. Stay safe.